Greetings, everyone. Today we'll be discussing unusual food cravings during pregnancy and their specific health outcomes in newborns. Here is the overview of our agenda. For the background of the study, unusual food cravings during pregnancy are driven by a complex interplay of biological and psychological factors. Hormonal changes such as elevated estrogen and progesterone levels significantly alter taste, perception, and appetite, while nutritional deficiencies, particularly in iron and zinc, can trigger cravings for non food items like dirt or ice. Psychological factors also play a role, with food often serving as a coping mechanism for stress and emotional regulation. Additionally, personality traits like high neuroticism have been linked to more intense cravings. So these cravings can have both positive and negative health impacts. On another hand, they may help meet metabolic needs and provide emotional satisfaction. And on one hand, they can lead to excessive weight gain, unhealthy eating habits, or conditions like gestational diabetes. Cravings for non nutritive substances such as geophagia or pagophagia may indicate deficiencies and pose risks, including toxin exposure or reduced oxygen delivery to the fetus, potentially affecting birth weight and development. This study emphasizes the importance of understanding cravings to address maternal nutritional needs, optimize placental health, and support fetal development. By exploring these relationships, healthcare professionals can develop evidence based intervention to improve prenatal care, mitigate risks, and enhance outcomes for mothers and newborns. While this research focuses on healthy pregnant women, limitations like recall bias and cultural variability in defining unusual cravings underline the need for future longitudinal studies. Moving on to the review of related literature.
Food cravings are defined as the instances where an individual has a strong desire to eat a specific food. Now, this usually comes with intrusive thoughts, vivid imagery, lack of self control, and expectation for either positive or negative before and after eating the cravings. Now, in pregnancy, this is a common phenomenon, with almost 2 out of 3 pregnant women experiencing food cravings. Associated with these cravings are the increase in appetite and dietary changes due to physiological, psychological, and environmental factors during pregnancy, which will be discussed further. Now, there are also eating disorders that may come with these cravings during pregnancy, such as hyperphagia, or the feeling of extreme hunger, which leads to eating much more than usual, even at times when an individual isn't really hungry. In addition to this, there are also some cases where pregnant women develop pica, or this is where an individual compulsively consumes non-food materials. Based on various studies, here are some of the most common cravings of women during pregnancy. A common dietary change is the increase in energy intake in foods such as grain products, milk, fruit, and vegetables, along with a decrease in caffeine and fried food consumption. Out of 1,639 pregnant women, 58.5% craved for one food, 27% craved for two specific foods, 13% had cravings for three or more foods, and 1.5% had non-food cravings. Another study have shown 67.2% had cravings for foods, 19.2% reported meat, poultry, and seafood cravings, 8.9% reported craving starchy carbohydrate foods, and the remaining 4.7% had cravings for sweets.
Pregnancy cravings are a fascinating aspect of gestation, rooted in both biological and psychological factors. Hormonal and metabolic changes during pregnancy amplify the brain's response to food, signaling a need to meet the nutritional demands of the growing fetus. However, cravings are not purely biological. Psychological influences such as stress, cultural norms, and individual personality traits also contributes. While these cravings can fulfill specific nutritional needs, they may sometimes lead to adverse health effects such as gestational diabetes or nutrient imbalances. Understanding these dynamics is essential for supporting maternal and neonatal health. Pregnancy cravings are a well-known phenomenon, often driven by a combination of psychological and physiological and environmental factors. These cravings can influence both maternal health and the development of the fetus. Studies show that the brain responses to the food cues and metabolic changes play a role in shaping these cravings, with potential implications for birth outcomes. Cravings often center around high calorie and low nutrient foods, which can contribute to weight gain, gestational diabetes, and nutritional imbalances. This can negatively affect the fetal development. Additionally, maternal dietary habits before pregnancy play a crucial role in newborns. For example, a nutrient rich pregnancy diet can support healthier fetal growth. Personality traits like neuroticism can also affect food choices, leading to emotional eating and further complications. To improve maternal and neonatal health outcomes, addressing both the physical and the emotional aspects of cravings is essential. A balanced diet before and during pregnancy, along with the emotional support to manage cravings, can help promote healthier pregnancy outcomes. By focusing on these areas, we can better manage cravings and mitigate their impact on both the mother and the baby.
Pica, or the consumption of non-food substances by the pregnant woman, has been found to be significantly associated with numerous different health issues that may arise in the child after birth. It has been found that pica in pregnant women is associated with a higher risk of anemia, lower birth weight, premature births, and developmental delays. Pica has also been linked to micronutrient deficiency, negatively affecting the proper brain development of the fetus and its neurocognitive functioning after birth, while lower birth weight is associated with impaired immune functioning and developmental delays during infancy, specifically delays in the child's ability to move, speak, and think. It was also found that women with pica are significantly more likely to give birth to children with neurodevelopmental disorders, such as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or ADHD. Pica comes and manifests itself in various types, depending on the specific category of non-food substances being craved. One type of pica, known as geophagia, which is defined as the craving and consumption of unusual substances such as earth, soil, or clay, can be a symptom of deficiencies in iron or zinc. The consumption of soil and clay can also lead to the ingestion of toxins such as lead and mercury, which can negatively affect the development of the brain of a fetus. Another type of pica, called pagophagia, which is defined as the craving, chewing, and consumption of ice, has also been linked to iron deficiency, can lead to impaired delivery of oxygen to the developing fetus, and negatively impact its proper growth and development, potentially leading to health issues such as lower birth weight and various developmental delays, such as learning difficulties and cognitive problems.
Moving on to the psychological and cultural influence on food cravings. First, psychological and cultural influences play a significant role in food cravings. Psychologically, cravings are often linked to emotional regulation and stress, with foods high in sugar, fat, or salt providing temporary relief by stimulating dopamine release in the brain. Hormonal imbalances, especially during pregnancy, can heighten these cravings by altering taste and smell sensitivity. Conditions like anxiety and depression also contribute to increased cravings for calorie dense foods as a form of emotional comfort. Neurobiological research suggests that cravings, especially in individuals with binge eating behaviors, may be driven by reward pathways and dopaminergic systems, resembling addiction like responses. Culturally, food cravings are shaped by norms and traditions that dictate which foods are desirable or acceptable. During pregnancy, cultural beliefs often influence cravings, framing them as signs of the baby's health or gender. Certain foods, like sour or spicy items, may be encouraged in some cultures, while others impose restrictions based on religious or societal rules. Additionally, cultural symbolism and media exposure reinforce cravings for specific foods, such as chocolate in Western societies or tamarind in Southeast Asia. And lastly, the intersection of psychological factors and cultural norms creates a powerful synergy, especially during pregnancy, where hormonal changes ca- trigger cravings, and cultural beliefs shape how they are perceived and managed. Understanding and addressing these influences is key to managing cravings healthily while respecting cultural contexts. However, more research is needed to fully understand the long term health impacts of these cravings on both maternal and fetal health.
Now, let us discuss the research materials and methods. A combination of purposive and convenient sampling will be used in the study since these methods are the most efficient for the researchers and can both ensure participants' eligibility and availability for the study. Now, the first way of collecting data is through a semi-structured interview and will be conducted either face-to-face or online, depending on the preferences of the participants.
To assess the potential impact of food cravings during pregnancy on the health outcomes of the newborns, the researchers will regularly monitor the newborn's health by conducting health checkups on the infants at regular intervals after birth. These checkups will occur at key developmental stages, from birth up until the child turns 1 year old, where they focus on monitoring and detecting possible early signs of any developmental, nutritional, or physical issues that may correlate with the pregnancy cravings. The weight, length, and head circumference of the child will be recorded, along with the necessary vital signs, to see if the child is growing and gaining weight at an average or appropriate rate. Problems relating to general behavior and temperament will be noted, if any are present, as will feeding and waste excretion to check for normal development of the digestive and excretory systems. Reflexes appropriate for each stage will be tested to check for normal development of the nervous system. Finally, the researchers will analyze these health outcomes in relation to the types and frequency of cravings reported during pregnancy, taking note of any patterns that suggest a connection between cravings and newborn health. Throughout the study, strict ethical guidelines will be followed to ensure the safety and privacy of participants. Informed consent will be obtained from all participants prior to their involvement in the study, ensuring that they understand the purpose, procedures, and potential risks. All participants will have the option to withdraw from the study at any time without penalty. The confidentiality and anonymity of all participants will be maintained throughout the study, and any data collected will be securely stored and disposed of once the research is completed.